Vice versa, you shut down Sumail, well then it's Arteezy. You know, it's this 1-2 combo.
And Arteezy likes to consider himself as a comeback player.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Okay, here we go then. I guess get on board the roller coaster because this one could be fun. It's Evil Geniuses versus SG eSports. We're into our first draft, and SG have decided to go with the Trin first pick.
Banning out the Nature's Prophet, something that EG has pretty much won every single game with at this event. And the IO, obviously a very scary hero that EG... Oh, there it is, it's back, the Dark
I think we're seeing a pattern.
The trend has been set.
It is a day 3 meta.
Yeah.
Definitely been the pick of the day.
It sort of started like last night a little bit, right?
Even in the groups, there was a couple of picks, just a couple. And I think there was an element of, oh, actually, we've just found something that's really good. Let's not play it anymore. Let's not draw attention to it. We don't want to show anyone else what we've got.
And I think SG might be a little surprised here because they might have wanted the Darkseer themselves. Especially last night, they played it really well, and EG just straight up taking it.
So they go for an early leaner.
Yep, something that we saw King RD play phenomenally last night.
Or ADR.
ADR.
Oh, sorry,
ADR,
ADR, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting. I mean, the one thing I think, when I think Darkseer, I think Universe. And he's been a phenomenal player on the hero. He has claimed that he doesn't enjoy playing that hero. But I think there's nothing more satisfying than getting a 5-man back wall into some sort of crazy combo.
And the Crystal Maid and Darkseer are very, very, very good together. Like we talked about the mana region, but also like her abilities with the vacuum is really good. It's like her first spell is a very low cooldown, does like a 50% slow. Can do a lot of damage during that time. So Lifestealer banned out. Nothing too special here. We've seen quite a bit of it.
They played their last 2 drafts with Lina. They had Lifestealer. You know?
Yeah, I was about to say they played it quite recently.
Regular we've been seeing this quite a lot now. No, pick Lina, ban TA.
Yeah.
Situation.
It's pretty tough playing that Lina versus TA, mostly in the mid game more than the lane. I mean, the lane stage isn't great, but like you can get enough. But that mid game where TA can just like 2-3 shot you with Blink Deso later, and you got no real response for it until you found like a Shivers later on. And even then, TA still does a lot of damage.
I mean, it's definitely one of those. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, unless you're Virtus Pro, in which case you just pick it into a TA.
The Lina, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the confidence of having a solid mid laner, which I was about to bring up. Sumail, no one. Those guys know how to play these mid heroes, especially TA, especially Shadow Fiend. These, kind of core picks for a mid player playing on ladder or anywhere else.
I wonder if SG will consider banning the Storm Spirit again, or like, you got Sumail. He went pretty crazy in that first game.
I guess the question is, are they actually going to pick Sumail's hero here though? Because EG do have that 10th pick of the draft, and I feel like they leave it more often for Sumail than Arteezy.
Yeah. Well, maybe with the Nyx ban out, which is also very good versus Darkseer, but they could be like, kind of hiding it, that they want this Storm anyway, so let's just get rid of it.
I mean, that's a pretty popular pick for Tavo. I mean, he likes to play those playmakers. Back in the day, he used to be quite the ratting player, but it's interesting to see him move more towards these, initiators and playmakers.
Spectre banned out by SG, something we see in Arteezy play in this tournament. Very good synergy with the Darkseer Ion Shell. We talk how like Spectre needs to get through his Radiance, but when you have an Ion Shell, she's already dishing out a lot of damage in the early game. Very popular combo.
It's just a strong pick in this current meta right now.
Right. Very likely that they're going to go with the support hero here. Most likely something for Zai.
There's a lot of options. And the Monkey King.
Monkey King actually sounds very, very good here. You got the vacuum into the ultimate, and you got the Crystal Maiden Monkey, which we've seen quite a bit. Oh,
just think Spirit Breaker might be a better partner for Darkseer, and also still good at dealing with Lina. Charges on Lina, not easy to stop with the LSA necessarily.
Spirit Breaker is better at laning with the Darkseer. And if, let's say, SG decide that they're going to go elsewhere to try and pressure you, and since there's going to be a Darkseer and Spirit Breaker in the offlane, they can just shell the Spirit Breaker, TP him to that lane, charge in, and it's going to be so scary because you're not going to have the ability to get away from a Spear Breaker this early in the game, and it's going to be dealing a lot of damage too.
And the Juggernaut from SG eSports.
I think they're not really thinking about the Spear Breaker too much, but more about the Darkseer, how they want something to be able to lane against this Ion Shot pressure that's going to be coming in. But like Spear Breaker in general is just a very good hero versus the Juggernaut. Yeah, you can't just spin and TP out, and if he ever do get charged, you might just get bursted under his stun combo. Slark, okay.
We've seen the success of this hero just in general, and RTZ plays a mean Slark. If I have to admit myself.
Right, and this is a situation where SG might feel like they need to go and pressure it, the Slark. And if they do that, I would love to see EG start the Spearbreaker Darkseer in the offlane, get level 2 really fast there, since you're not splitting the XP between 3 heroes. Very important, Spearbreaker gets level 2, and then they do the Ion Shell TP move.
Yeah, there's also not many heroes that you could safely 1v1 versus a Darkseer as well. It's always going to be tough for a lot of heroes.
Yeah.
Something I like here for SG Esports is maybe something like a Legion Commander or something that's really strong in laning. Maybe something that could actually 1v1 the Slark here.
Legion seems pretty powerful right now.
Maybe a Disruptor could be good support as well they can pick up. We saw Cat play it yesterday, and it's a pretty good team fighting hero in the situation. They do want some catch right now. SG just don't have anything to be able to catch EG so far, except for the Tree and Protector, but I don't think it's good enough in this kind of game.
There's that Disruptor pick. Very solid choice.
Yep. Liking it. And we can start to see like a pattern as well from SG and how they think about stuff. They want these solid heroes that they know they play well with, and we can see it in this draft already. The heroes that they picked is like something they've already used in the past.
Well, if they're going to stick with Comfort, offlane Comfort is clockwork for them. I wonder if that's on their mind. It hasn't been the most successful hero for them this tournament, but has always been their go-to for the offlane.
I wonder if EG is considering something between Invoker and Storm Spirit here. I understand they have a Disruptor, but it's still not... Like, if you look at SG's lineup, it's just not enough lockdown, I would think, for a Storm Spirit. And Invoker is obviously the other hero that Sumail really loves playing. I think he plays it really well. And they have sufficient lockdown for the Sunstrike combo as well. And that's what a lot of these pro teams think about, is do we have enough lockdown for the early game kills to give to the Invoker, so he gets a faster Midas, faster Aghanims, and he can just pretty much carry us throughout the game. And if you look at EG's lineup, they definitely have.
Yeah, it's funny, they actually had a lot of reserve time early on in this draft, but they're spending a lot on figuring out what they want to ban against Evil Genius this year.
Puck, huh? EG is not really this kind of team that would just play with one single core carry. Like Puck is, you wouldn't really consider as a carry mid. So a bit of a weird ban in my opinion, the Puck. Because if EG do play with just a single core, I think that's fine for SG. They will at least feel like, okay, we can just, you know, maybe glimpse this Puck at some point in the game, kill him, and that's it. Now all we have to worry about is a Slark in a team fight.
Yeah.
Perhaps they watch no one's Puck beat a lane in mid, and they're just like, we don't want, you know, that lane matchup. Let's just not give Sumail a chance
and sometimes when you're in these tournaments and you're like in the waiting room, waiting to play, you're like watching the previous game. That actually happens where you're like, oh yeah, do we have to worry about this now? And then someone, maybe they're like a little too antsy and they're like, yeah, let's just get rid of this here. You know, we're not too sure. So that could definitely happen.
Definitely a scary thought.
Right.
Big pick for SG. They're going to pull the Sand King into the offlane. And EG have the 10th and final pick, and it will be a Quap.
Giving Sumail a lane dominator. Yeah, that's his style. He wants to do well, win his lane, and snowball from there.
I didn't think of the Quap because it's a matchup versus the Lina. And we've seen before that they banned the Lina before they picked the Quap. So didn't really think too much about it. But since they do have a Spear Breaker, he can just charge in. Quap can just blink in, just constantly kill this Lina over and over again.
And Tree cannot help mid lane. That's actually a big problem here. You pick this 4 position that's limited to the side lanes typically. So.
Yep. But yeah, we seen the Tavo Sanking yesterday. That was beautiful plays. And he knows how to play in the off lane really well as well. When he played against MP, he had like, what, 30 last hits at minute 4?
Yeah.
It's a CM Slack to deal with him. It's definitely a pretty good lane for him to go up against. But.
Okay, let's get to some panel predictions. We'll start with Gods.
EG off the back of Sumail's quap with a Spirit Breaker to back him up. I got to believe him. I think Tavo's the key player. If he can do well, SG eSports can win the game, but I think Sumail's too big a problem, so I'll stick it with EG.
Okay.
I think I look at EG's draft, and I think everybody except for Crit is on pretty much one of their iconic heroes. It's really, really hard for me to say go against EG here.
Yeah. You do bleed blue after all, so it would be difficult for you. Yes.
Oh, we're testing the curse here?
No testing of, no mentioning of curses now, Steven. Come on.
Jeez.
Nothing is cursed, no one is cursed.
Just believe.
Okay, quickly.
All right, I'm going for SG.
Okay. Well, we have one believer on the panel anyway. Steven has gone for SG. The other two, of course, have gone for EG. What will happen in our first game? Will they be bleeding blue or will they be blue blood? Let's find out as we head into game 1 of SG versus EG.
I find myself sitting here asking a question, Purge. Will it be possible for a repeat of what we saw Adfinum do in Boston? Is it possible here for SG to bring down EG after taking out Secret last night and being the ones that justify more positions coming from the qualifier?
I mean, there's definitely the chance, but this match, is it harder than the last one? I'm not sure, but it's still going to be a tough match. Can SG go even deeper than they did before while at 16 seed? That would be the amazing run of the tournament for sure.
And I'd love to see it if it happens. And of course, what a great way to cap off the Knights if it can go that way. I know there's a lot of North American fans cheering for Evil Genius as well. They are bleeding for the victory from EG to get the matchup against OG in the second semi-final. How do you think about the draft, man? We managed to get through it. We were quite quiet through it all. What jumps out at you?
It's a very EG draft. Darkseer has been getting a very large win rate. He's been getting pretty popular in the last day or two. And it's going to combo very well with the dual off lane of Spirit Breaker plus Darkseer if they end up being in the same lane. Quap is maybe the only picked by EG so far is what it seems like. And it's such a Sumail hero too. Just a lot of early aggression, the ability to get double, triple kills in the early game. And I think it's going to work really well against SG eSports.
Well, SG eSports have got a couple of things up there. Snorkos Tavo, the last hero he played on this stage is in fact the hero he's on right now, that Sanking. You'll have support from Tree and Protector. So the combination they're trying to run is, for the moment, keeping Zai up on the top lane to work with Arteezy and Crit.
Yeah, it can certainly work, but it's also a little scary, especially with this Orb of Venom here.
That Sentry Ward is foot's in the circle on the top lane.
They definitely see him here.
Yeah, especially when he walks in like that. But they're acting like they don't. They're trying to get King Red just to move a little bit further to the east to come into the kill zone that is EG.
Yeah, they're doing a great job pretending like they don't see, but with that Sentry down, nothing really happens. The wave does push a bit, and Tavo's going to be able to get a little experience. In the off-lane, Universe is going to be laning against the Jug. This is actually a decent matchup for Juggernaut, at least towards the start. But at some point, he will run out of mana, and the Iron Shell will be a little more superior. But he's one of the better melee carries against it for sure.
Another lane to keep our eyes on is going to be that mid lane. Sumail going up against 40R. This is one of these lanes where we also beg the question, who actually gets the first blood? There's a lot of burst damage from both sides.
Well, 40R had an amazing Lina game yesterday, so maybe we'll see something similar. Zai with actually the most annoying taunt I've ever heard. I think I have that one too. I just haven't pressed it yet.
It sounds horrendous.
Yeah, it really is. So the lane going all right for them. Universe doing a great job as well in the off lane. He just previously pulled the side pull that was going towards the large camp with his own Iron Shell on that enemy creep. So that was a pretty sick move to get a full creep wave.
Another small victory was up on top lane where GRD actually had his ward de-warded, but Tavo, okay. One bash from Tree and Protective. Space is created, but Zai with an Orb of Venom. You've got the Burrow Strike available. Zai still holding on to the charge. He's going to get the vision. Going for the charge. Frostbite is up. Crit needs to close the distance, however, to actually reach it. So now all he can do is turn around to GRD, Frostbite him up, and Zai can do some chip harassment. And Tavo actually Burrow Strikes back in again, knowing there's no Frostbite, and also understanding that both of them are going to be shrining up anyway.
Could have gone a kill if he got a bash, but that's pretty low chances, right? Never know when those are going to come. Sumail in the mid lane is up to 7-5 versus the 5-2 of Lina, so they're very close. Opts for 2 points in Dagger, but he's also got the CM aura, which is going to be a nice advantage for EG. Pretty much all their heroes are going to super benefit from this.
So good laning phase so far from, well, I should say both sides at this point, even if the off lane is not getting as much as they would like to into Tavo, but is keeping both of the supports up here, which is letting Lina and Queen of Pain have their own normal battle. But then again, okay, GRD, this is a great position for him. Frostbitten up, leashed as well. Tavo has to go for the Burrow Strike, going on to Zai to try and stop the bash, but the bash connects onto Tavo. But GRD already falls, Arteezy being the man to claim the head.
Yeah, no kidding. Essence Shift is a really good skill for hitting tanky HP heroes in the early game, and it pays off big time. It just looks like he has, I don't know, some kind of massive orb throwing his attacks down, but it's just draining a little bit of their max HP temporarily. So, easy kill there. Still level 1 on the Sand King, actually. They're doing such a good job of controlling this wave. The fact that these guys are both still level 1 is insane. And that was the big presence of SG's draft in the series yesterday. They grabbed really strong dual off lanes. They dealt well with the safe lane that Secret was running, but this game it's not going the same. EG grabbed really safe supports. They fit into a lot of lineups here, and Slark is maybe the weak point, but he's very well covered by these two heroes. Yep,
and thanks to that early farm, Arteezy could be happy, but Caustic is now up for Tavo. He did hit that level 2, and Arteezy instantly had to back up and actually burn his last consumable. So this is a small little thing to worry about before the Slark is going to hit his level 6, as for Nihar again, him and Samael trading damage back and forth. Obviously, once Lina hits the level 6, she's got a lot more pop damage thanks to Laguna Blade.
Invis for Disruptor that he can maybe use for a gank setup. He's level 3 on the mid lane. Just
Still actually holding all of his points.
It's going to be a little hard to get a kill if he goes mid. Lina's kind of low on mana, and they'd have to probably land a stun. It's just safer if he uses it to mess with the offlane a bit, I guess. And he actually does spot Spiritbreaker, which might make them think that a gank's coming, because Spiritbreaker wouldn't be bottom for any other reason, especially if he's not in the lane right now. So they should expect this gank.
Well, he's on the way in, and 4DR back behind the tower. Treant Protect was TPing himself over. And as you said, they expected it coming. The Radiant Observer Ward scattered it out, and Zai doesn't get his opening he's looking for. Tavo barely escaping the top lane. Frostbite actually crit. He'll be able to click it in. And the Tavo still, thanks to the regeneration from the Living Armor, had more than enough life to survive the CM's engagement.
Zai does spot a Observer Ward on the cliff, but he didn't have a way to deal with it, and unfortunately, it's going to time out anyway, so job kind of done, just a little bit of gold wasted. Maybe he'll try to kill Disruptor here.
Here goes your charge. Disruptor is the target, charging straight through the Juggernaut as well. So into the tree lines, Disruptor trying to reach the safety of his tier 1 tower. Zai with the Iron Shell burn actually gets the bash, but no real desire to follow through.
Zai's been practicing his taunting after watching the series last night. That taunt is actually obnoxious. It's pretty funny, though.
It's going to trick you with the sound. If you could do that every time he hits the bash, it's just going to resonate in SG's ears.
That would actually be a good timing, yeah.
Zai's looking for another go. Like, Cat's fairly low. Here goes your charge instead, going over towards the Juggernaut. The wall is up, and Juggernaut still spinning and standing his ground. Zai can't get the bash. So they'll have to retreat back out again. You do have a level 1 glimpse, so if Cat wants to pull him in range of GRD, it would have been possible, but he lets him go.
Possible, but dangerous. Without a bash or Spiritbreaker's charge, if they pull it back in, he could probably just charge and guarantee the connection, and then you have to deal with Orb Venom again. It's just too dangerous, and Cat's just got to play it safe. Don't want to throw away an advantage, because that's a pretty easy way to just get snowballed out of control. I mean, it's some of the reason that SG won the games they did last night. They just had games where they got way more kills than Secret should have let them have, and good movements as well, take control of the game. So safe play right now.
Yeah. And the only real advantage is EG with an experienced lead of about 1,300. Gold is fairly close for the moment. And with only 1 kill on the board going the way of EG, that first blood for Arteezy, everyone just seems to be happy to accept the status quo.
So we'll just kind of depend on the first couple rotations. And obviously Spiritbreaker's great at that. But I think the hero that's going to be most crucial is going to be Sumail's Queen of Pain. Almost every single game that he's played this so far, he's had really impactful rotations. Like hits 6, goes somewhere, gets a kill, maybe even a double. For now, he's playing a little safe, and I think that's all right as well, because they haven't really felt too pressured. Most of the heroes are happy.
Like that whole kill desire from Samael, is that the reason why we're seeing Sonic Wave actually level up now?
Absolutely.
As opposed to just bumping up the Scream in the lane?
It's just not worth it to skip the skill. I mean, yeah, it gets your Scream, makes it do a little bit more damage early on, but when this hits 2-3 heroes sometimes for pure damage, it's a big nuke. Just worth grabbing.
Zai is stalking. The Die is scanning out. They're wondering if anyone else is really around here. Tavo's going to finish the farm. Does Zai really want this? If he got the Lucky Bash, it would have been a chance, but now that Tavo's triggered the Shrine, there isn't much for him to work with, apart from leeching.
Would have been tough if he got that kill. Yeah, it could have gone bad really fast, too, because if you're sitting there hitting 3-4 times on the low ground, don't know if somebody's teleporting, very easy for them to secure a kill on you, especially with like a tree or something. So, for now, Juggernaut's still in the safe lane, getting last hits. Going to be ferrying out a wand. No rotations just yet. And definitely a very good thing about having Jug in the safe lane. Usually it doesn't really matter that much because the first couple ganks come late, but against the Quap, stop Dagger, stop Scream of Pain damage. It will still take Sonic Wave, but I think it's going to keep them fairly protected here. And it seems like EG doesn't have the best opportunities to get a gank, and SG's mostly playing defensive.
Yep. They seem to be very happy for the moment. Everyone's getting levels, everyone's getting the farm they want. None of the supports are really ahead of each other. In fact, Treant Protector as well as Zion is exactly where they needed to be. Where's that lead seed? Give a little bit of extra life. He's got it out, but it's still not enough to keep the Lina alive. The bash from Zion will connect, and Disruptor's TP doesn't complete in time.
That was a very good bash. Helps to stun the Lina repeatedly, but either way, Frostbite, one of the best skills against her, actually. It does a pretty good amount of damage, and the whole they can't move for 2 seconds thing really hurts heroes like Lina when they're out of position. So very patient from Zai to wait that long for the kill, but pays off. And level 4 for him now. No boost yet.
Samel, has he actually got another one here on Cat? No, Living Armor. Shadow Strike, it is up at level 2, so the damage is considerable. But Living Armor is currently protecting Cat as he hides behind the trees.
And that actually got him really low here. And yeah, 40R is going to even the bottle when he TPs in. Universe getting a solo kill.
He had help. Zai was there, but the revenge. Juggernaut gets awarded the kill, so at least he gets a gold back, and the experience will be soaked up by Tavo, who was able to TP in. But again, these TPs are coming just a little too late from SG, but have an instant counter to this initiation of EG.
Yeah, big kill there. Half level going to Spearbreaker, and Darkseer with the gold advantage. So fast Arcane Boots, Soul Ring. He's got another Ring of Regen. It looks like he's going for a fast mech this game, which I think is a pretty good build. Obviously gives him armor, but most importantly, a little bit of armor and AoE heal for his team. So whoever does get Omni-Slashed, Epicentered, Lina comboed, if they can keep those heroes alive, and SG is very burst focused, they could swing the fight.
And then it'll be up for Tavo. Blink and Burrow, and then any kind of counter stuns, any kind of counter initiation. That's what I look for from SG. And that's why Tavo having this space in the bottom lane. The charge is coming in. Universe wants to go for this. In fact, he's going to surge himself over. And Zai, a quick sandstorm. Tavo still safe in the trees. And Universe is not going to risk that heavy amount of damage, even if Samel has rotated down to the bottom lane.
Yeah, he'll just hang out a bit. He's got an Arcane Rune as well. Sonic Wave is almost up. It was slightly a mistake by Universe there. He casted a Zion Shell on himself right before the SP got there, so
40R actually have any glimpse of this right now as they're charging in onto Cat. Crits moving forward, the extra bash from Zai, combining with the Frostbite. Samel will be here. A quick glimpse will take him away. It's Crit who's low, running away from the tower, and the TP from Zai, it will not complete. 40R gets something back as Crit has to lick his wounds and let his tranquils work.
Slark's coming from the backside. Yeah, it's the only way he can run here. Samel will nuke the wave, but he's not done. Chase. Okay, yes, he's done. He's very done.
TP's off cooldown in 4 seconds time, and then he can go back.
Yeah, that one was difficult to secure. Oh, he's going to blink forward, actually. Oh, misses the Scream, though. Pretty big mistake.
That's a level 3 glimpse if he wants to. Just out of range now. Samel back to his side of the river.
So close to 6 on Disruptor. That would have been good enough.
They're going again bottom lane. I think TZ won't get there in time, so they'll cancel the charge from Zai.
I mean, their rotations have been really useful. The downside is they lost their Tier 1 tower a while ago. So that makes it a little harder. Juggernaut's going to be able to easily push that out, but I do like that Arteezy is moving around. He'll be very useful against whatever heroes they gank, just because Dark Pact will eat right through the armor. But even if they don't get kills, if they do get a kill, it kind of just gives them massive advantage. So I think it's worth it a couple times here. Crits into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, with Laguna Blade, it just secures the kill early on. That Tier 1 tower is still not down yet, and because of the living armor, it's made it difficult for EG to actually get the hit in. Meanwhile, up on top lane, Juggernaut still doing the work. Starts his own TP into the mid lane. And SG doing a really good job of making sure they hold these forward Tier 1 towers.
And the other really good thing that they're doing is pushing lanes. Like you said, holding the towers, and then that's going to make it so much harder for EG to actually get their ganks off. because there's going to be less space for them to move around aggressively. And even heroes like Crystal Maiden, very squishy at the moment. She does get a ward counter, and SG is holding pretty well, but I feel like EG just, they've been looking for a lot of ganks, but they keep falling a little flat, so I'm starting to get a little nervous for them based on how the last couple engagements have gone.
Should it change around though? Like when Arteezy's able to finish up his full Shadow Blade, like
that's true.
What they're missing, is it there then for EG?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe some detection would be great as well. They kind of do have to worry about Invis Treant slightly, but they just need more reliable kills, right? If you rotate to the mid lane, you don't get a kill. Doesn't work out, whatever. Rotate the bot lane, try to push the tower, they defend it. Okay, that sucks. At some point, this really adds up. But if they do get the good kill, it should lead to a tower, and that's where they're going to start snowballing ahead. But if they don't actually secure those towers, the heroes are going to continue to be behind. CM's still going to get Laguna Bladed from 3/4 HP and die.
Sumail, he knew what was going on down here with that fresh veil. He's happy just to commit the Sonic Wave. And Wildcat, Living Armor, really? Is it going to work against Sumail? He's got Blink off cooldown in 3 seconds time. But I suppose Cow was trying to juke him and hope Sumail would blink over the top. But it did not happen. He walked straight back into the Scream. Now Burrow Strike up from Tavo, catching out the Darkseer, but Zai creates so much space, hitting into the Lina with the Nether Strike. He'll let Crit's ulti go as well. Zai, the damage by the tower, he'll barely live, or will he? 30, no, he's down to 0 life. Tavo's in the tree lines, preps the epicenter, needs to Burrow Strike out, able to hit into Universe, finds the kill. The SK, he really needed that. Good money, pushing him towards the Blink Dagger, but Crit's on the hunt. Tavo has run north. Sumail is looking for him as well. He has to keep running in deeper. The TP scroll is on cooldown as Sumail will reveal he does see him by attacking him across the way. Blinks on top, and what do you even do here, Tavo? You've got no mana for a Burrow Strike. You sit inside of Sandstorm, so you delay the mid of EG. Living Armor up. What else has he got? One stick charge.
That works.
Okay, he's still going to keep living. You don't have a Nova. Sumail Scream's the only thing that can do damage. He'll have it up in just a second, but even then the Living Armor is too much heal.
Way.
He can't kill. He can't kill the do-do-do. Meanwhile, Universe, he'll find a kill back over in towards middle lane. Cat will fall as well. So while Tavo may have survived, okay, Frostbite's down, the Dire Sentry one, he's finally in range of it. He can't sit here again, and he'll work that out as Sumail hits into him. Sandstorm's on cooldown. Finally, Tavo will fall, joining his other two teammates from the mid in the afterlife.
That was pretty value there. The raindrop and the Living Armor doing a lot of work to keep him alive, and the Tranquil Boots was actually really significant, because once you stop taking right-click damage, you're getting 14 HP per second on top of all that other stuff. So nice play by Sumail either way. I like that he blinked towards the Sandstorm position, or where the Sanctioning was. That was really wise, because it blocked him in right away despite the cloning
SG
blade.
really want to try and fight this. The Nether Strike goes in. Juggernaut the spin damage combining with the bash from GRD. Catches Zai out underneath the tier 1 tower. And EG want to back up. Sonic Wave's off cooldown in 6 seconds time, so they may want to fight. But there's a lot of reinforcement on the back line. They find the Lina. He got his nuke over on Arteezy, but Tavo misses the Burrow Strike, so they do not control him up. What's better is GRD in with the Overgrowth. Sumail continues his TP out. The Burrow Strike was on cooldown for way too long. So they Burrow Strike down, finding Universe. Crit lets it go once more. They can't get out here, even with the epicenter. The damage isn't enough. EG will wipe 4. Another good fight for them. They would like to take the 5th. A quick Frostbite. And the Juggernaut is on the run. Universe right behind him. Even the wall damage all going to work. And Crit, the support Crystal Maiden. If you got him in your fancy team, he just got himself a triple kill on bottom to just boost your points.
800 gold for him is actually insane at this point in the game. He's got a Midas. It's just done. And when you have that kind of a triple kill happen, you absolutely accelerate like that. But I think Arteezy was maybe the more crucial hero in that fight, coming from the back line, helping to ensure the Lina kill. And that's the scariest burst damage that SG eSports actually does have. But either way, able to weave in and out of the fight, he'll back up after the first burst, and eventually that just leads to SG getting wrecked apart. Yeah, he was the initiator here. Really fast reaction from the Lina. She gets her abilities off as well, but only does so much.
And then the control just doesn't really exist after that point. It felt very scrappy where EG could just poke from 3 different sides of the fight.
Yeah, maybe Sumail leaving a little early, but he just wanted to do the safe thing here. The Crit's ultimate, though, probably did an insane amount of damage in that fight.
Hence the well-deserved triple kill. So
Very
SG...
frustrated, Cat.
Well, you can see the expression as well. They are not happy. SG need to get a grip on the situation. This is where a team like SG really gets tested. How many times they've been on a stage of this magnitude? up against a team with a lot of experience, like all the players in EG have. They have to show their grit, or show their passion, whatever forces them through.
Technically, this is their second time if you count series, and so far game 1 not looking so good. But this is way better than the first game against Secret yesterday, that's for sure. They're doing smart things, just EG's playing better.
Well, at least SG now have some level of initiation. Tavo now have that Blink Dagger. It's taken him a while. These last fights of EG have come at a really crucial time for him, where he kept getting pushed back 200 gold away from having that Blink Dagger. But now it's up. He at least has his Blink to get the initiation right.
The hard part is that Darkseer is just starting to work on his pipe. And he's not there yet. He just got his cloak, but when the pipe comes up, it's going to make Sand King's ultimate a lot less effective. And the heroes they're always going to aim for is most likely Slark is by far the best grab if they can get him, but it's got to be a Sand King Burrow Strike, ideally into Static Storm follow-up or Lina combos as well.
So smoke ganking towards mid. This is the reveal of the Blink Dagger that has to work for SG. They want an opening if they can find one, and right now all they're going to find is Crit. I say all they're going to find. It's a 6-1 Crystal Maiden at the moment. Crit's actually not a bad kill to take, and you can sense EG. They were scanning below to the south of Crit. Crit will go down, and Juggernaut gets 451 gold for that one kill.
Yeah, that's the downside of getting all the kills is support. Eventually, someone's going to take you real easy, and due to that, the whole streak thing, yeah, it's going to be worth it. So Crit goes down pretty easy.
That's actually Juggernaut's Manta Star because of the kill.
I mean, he was probably close anyways, right? 500 gold. But it definitely accelerates things a bit and makes their smoke worth it.
All right, so Blink gets revealed. Juggernaut goes back to the farming. It was actually something Juggernaut was looking for at the very, very start. He was even looking to rush his Diffusal Blade. I put this thought on hold as, well, 40R gets engaged on, gets his stun off. It's a nice storm out from Cat, and, well, Zai is trapped on the wrong side of the fence. They're beating him down. The Burrow Strike in through the rear, combining with the Omnislash Samael. The Glyph pulls him back. He blinked away. The timing was perfect. And SG, one very big kill and the support to boot.
And it looks like kind of a mediocre initiation for SG, but being able to grab Sumail in the back and pull him all the way into the team fight looked amazing. And consistently, it seems like every time the Zai charges, SG knows about it. They're ready to set up, and that's why they had all their heroes there ready to go. So that's EG just has to take better fights.
The warding has also been a lot better. Like, they just put that aggressive ward down up next to the southern bounty rune of the Dire side. Oh, okay. Quick spin away. The charge is still coming in. You do have GRD right behind, so if he wants to create some space, he can do so.
Leap was used just a little early there. Slark's actually going to be really useful fighting the Jug with Silver Edge. It'll break his passive a huge way for Juggernaut to increase his damage. But they're going to cross the river this time. They don't want them to know that they're approaching. Invis for crit. And
under the cover of smoke, they can walk right over the top of the Obs and Sentry, which may give SG a little bit more confidence. But Trees in the neighborhood missed a 3 Sentry ward, Tree and Protector. Tries to have the vision advantage, and now, well, Crystal Maiden's so close, the smoke will end up breaking.
They're not realizing.
They don't realize the fact that GRD is there. The spin, very quick out from the Juggernaut. The wall is up as well, but they get the bash, the control, the double barrel strike from Tavo. That could be big with a 4-man wall. Universe tries to turn it around. Crit, letting it go so hard all over SG. Will it be enough to actually survive? You've still got 4 up from SG. It's a 1-for-1 trade-off. The Lina may be the first casualty of Warriors. It's been many times in the EG engagements. That now it's EG with both of their supports down for the kill on the Lina, who's already respawned.
Was that the most ineffective CM ulti you've ever seen?
They're going to die.
They're going to die for sure. Yep. All clumped up, just on the outside of the silence, nothing disabling. He got like 80% of his ult off. They're all fine. Maybe there was a healing ward down during the whole thing.
Yeah, what was stopping it? Was it like, did Lina trigger a Bloodstone, I think, happen in the middle of this fight to give anything back?
Either way, the initiation was amazing here.
Yeah, so they're all low.
They're pretty far away, and they do spread out a decent amount. RTZ does end up killing the Lina, which was a huge advantage, but those guys were standing right next to her and she's taking nothing.
Yep.
That was just a really unlucky ultimate, I think, is part of it. But ultimately, what the big mistake was that as they approached, they didn't notice when the dust faded. They didn't have an observer ward either to put on the high ground because CM was the one that was uninvisible, which means they probably should put the wards on the Spirit Breaker instead after getting the invis, because as soon as you put the ward down, your invis breaks. So if they could have put the wards down, they would have seen that, hey, there's no hero here, there must be an invis, pop the dust, and then they take a good fight.
Lena's in trouble, but Tavo's prepping at the epicenter. Burrow strikes forward. He's looking for the kill over on Crypt with a light strike array. Universe going to try and back to interrupt the Sonic Wave from Samel. It does manage to connect. Lena, 40R into the tree line. He's so low. Arteezy with the last little sliding kill, able to pick him off. He actually kept Disruptor out this fight as well, which allows Zion just to charge forward, killing off SK, knowing that there is no extra support sitting behind those two SG heroes.
And that was a really good engage for them. Finally, their SB combo sort of works out, consistently going for the Nether Strike into the charge to help guarantee and prevent them from just reacting to his charge in. And that one works. A lot of the other ones, they see it coming, they get the spin off, and Lena's tanky, but they're kind of just burning through her Bloodstone charges. She's already down to 6 at this point.
This is not where you want to be as a Lena. That's a Lena who went for the plus 50 damage, screwed respawn time, so...
Yeah, it's the right move. I think he did it very, very successfully last night. I like the choice. It's just going to hurt him a lot in this game.
The charge coming up on top lane. I don't know if Arteezy really felt like going in there. His Silver Edge just wore off. So he'll retreat back out and Zai will cancel his charge.
He's definitely going to be thinking about it, and that's kind of what you have to do as a Spirit Breaker, is that you should hang out kind of where near your aggressive cores are. That way, if Arteezy is close by an enemy hero, he can move towards them, go for the kill, and SB can react faster. Because if you're charging across the whole map, higher chance that the ward spots you, delays the amount of time it takes for you to initiate, and that can cost you a kill. That could change the game.
That pipe we were looking for on Universe is now being completed, so the effectiveness of that epicenter of Tavo, it is level 2, but the effectiveness is still going to be dropped down. Juggernaut completed up his item, so he got the Diffusal Blade done and is now staring at the Blink Dagger.
That's a really early Manta Diffusal, actually. And he's going to be able to burn Ion Shells off. He's going to be able to kill Surges. It'll be very effective. Not to mention drain mana. I mean, Quap, for example, is usually going to jump in, burn through most of her mana pool. She's got to use Veil. She's got to cast 500 mana Sonic Wave. If you get her a little bit low after she used Blink and you drain the rest of it, she's just dead in the water.
Is this SG trying to posture up on top lane to go for the tier 2 tower? Right now they do have the tower advantage. Living Armor has been repairing every single one of the towers up as far as they can possibly go, and Juggernaut does have some good momentum on the top lane. But here comes EG down the mid with the double damage of Samael.
Ooh, they spotted out Arteezy as he walked to the low ground, but I'm sure he spotted his Icon Despairing as well. So he knows he was spotted, and with all of them TPing.
That TP took so long. He TP'd onto the exact same position. I think that was like a 4-second TP scroll going from Juggernaut with no spin, and he was being charged.
That looked like the 180 turn, like almost there, but we'll commit to it. He gives up on that one. Smoke earn.
Smoke middle from SG. When you slave as well as Light Strike Array the creep wave, you may be flagging the fact that an invisible force is killing off the creeps. Quick sentry ward down. Arteezy, he's so close to it, but not close enough. The smoke will break. A secondary sentry now planted. They see Arteezy. The Burrow Strike almost instant from Tavo. The wall is up. Laguna Blade, they commit everything to kill him off. Arteezy can buy back, but Samael! A huge ulti out from him. Able to catch Lena and disrupt her out. And the Juggernaut, he needs to do work. The Omni Slash mana. The Burrow Strike and Tavo! You thought it was going to be ineffective with the pipe, but no. It is an ultra kill in for the Jugger, and Tavo's control was perfect.
The fight started off pretty well for EG. It was like both teams decided to initiate at the exact same time. And the mistake was that I don't think Arteezy realized that he was spotted. Instantly gets stunned, I think, by
It was Tavo.
The Treant bash, was it not?
You think he got it off?
Burrow?
If he was on the tree, then yeah. I'd love to see it again.
I mean, he could hit Slark no matter what, right? Slark's not going to interrupt him, prevent him from hitting.
Let's see it again.
The same time, and there was follow-up, I believe. The Burrow Strike had already hit, and he didn't actually cast the Dark Pact in time. Gets followed up with Static Storm. It's a really good Quap ulti as well. Lena goes down, but at this point, you're dealing with a Jug that has Diffusal and Manta.
And then in came Tavo. It was the icing on the cake.
Maybe they kill Jug there, if it's 3v just the Jug and the tree, but as soon as that Burrow Strike hits, the fight's over, and Tavo did a lot of that yesterday to win a series.
You can see him picking up the beat. SG, they've been behind this entire game, and they still don't have the lead. It's 3,000 experience for EG, and, just under 5,000, about 3.5 grand as well in the net worth going their way, but this can start changing around as SG, fight after fight, now looking to bring down towers. Remember, they're going to hold that tower advantage for a very long time, thanks to their Tree Protector, and thanks to the fact they can defend the pushes from EG.
EG's just kind of trying to find some ground on the map here.
Well, how do you find that? Even your combination with Universe and Samael is not packing anywhere near as much punches. Maybe even the one we saw just before from VP, having that Slardar and Darkseer together. There's no stun, it's just damage.
Yeah, and I think EG put a lot into their draft in terms of laning stage. That's what Quap's supposed to do. Rotate around, get some kills.
Barra Strike Tavo. He's going after Arteezy. If they can get a glimpse back, they can pull him back in range of the tower, but they don't have the vision. Thanks to the Shadow Dance, Arteezy well away.
Yep. Maybe small mistake from Cat there. You pretty much have to glimpse instantly because he will press Shadow Dance to guarantee nobody clicks on him. But he gets out, forces a lot of TPs actually. Could cost him a bit later, but EG's got to get some space on the map. Push the lanes, find some maybe solo heroes to get kills on. They got to find somebody to charge, but that's the problem with Spirit Breaker sometimes, is that he definitely requires you to be at least a little ahead. When you're ahead on Spirit Breaker, it is a really straightforward game. It helps you commit and get those kills, but when you're behind, you don't feel comfortable going for most ganks because it's not very easy for you to initiate without them seeing it coming. So half the time they just pop BKB, they spin, they blink to safety, and you're not able to gank or initiate correctly. So it's going to require things like smokes.
Boy, that Observer Ward is perfect. SG understand exactly where EG are moving currently, and that's the reason why they grab the double damage rune and start heading in towards Roshan. This could be very quick because they got that rune, plus, Cat's able to find the Dire Observer Ward. So EG now go blind around the pit. By de-warding that, they will understand what's happening. They quickly Radiant scan, and now SG, it's like they're playing the bait game. They want them to come in Tavo. Okay. Like, this isn't fly fishing.
He does that just to break the smoke, I think. And Crit does end up killing the Observer Ward, so maybe they can pressure now. That's really all he wanted. He wanted vision for his team.
Juggernaut's still doing the work. Roshan's down to 3.3. They get less when you hit the crits because of living armor. He survives Arteezy running into the Sentry Ward, and you're waiting in for the overgrowth space. Arteezy, it will both go the way of SG, and now the fight begins. Will it be enough? Omni Slash is up, and he's going to let it go inside the pit. The back wall outside. It's not really doing enough, but Samael's ulti, that might do the job. 2 down right now for SG. They still want to keep fighting. Juggernaut's the big man with that Aegis Immortal, but Arteezy now up to 12 essence shifted. He wants to fight harder. Tavo has to Burrow Strike and TP out. The vision, the stun, there's nothing there. Crit can't reach him with the Frostbite. So SG will lose 3 heroes and possibly their mid tower as well. But they hold the Aegis Immortal unless Arteezy is able to track down HF as he gets back to the tier 2 tower. Arteezy Silver Edge off cooldown 3 seconds time, pounces forward, doesn't actually get the leash, and now Juggernaut slows him down with a Fusel Blade. Tavo looking for the Burrow Strike. They have vision. Is it there? They don't actually see him. Arteezy, the Silver Edge will save his life.
Completely worth it for him to move down like that, though, because if he gets there, his opponent knows, oh, they're taking Roche for sure. No matter what, right? Then Arteezy shows up. He possibly gets a snipe for the Aegis kill. That would be amazing advantage. Basically nullifying everything that SG got there other than the Roche gold. So I think ultimately that's quite good for EG. They've got to be scared about SG basically grouping, grabbing Aegis, hitting buildings. They can still do that now. So it's a little iffy, but at least they did get another tower off the map, which is more space that Quap can use, that Arteezy can use to get kills. But man, if they got Aegis or Roche Snipe there, that would have been a nice advantage for EG. But still a good fight. Shows a lot of promise for their team right now.
But SG, they know they still have a little bit to work with as well. In fact, I say a little bit. They don't have the advantage back just yet, but they still hold a lot of map control. The BKB arrives over on the Lina, so having both the Aegis plus the BKB going into the next fights is going to lean the way of SG. And we got a lot of pressure onto Evil Geniuses to get, again, that sweet combination start. If they can get it, have Samael Sonic Wave do a lot of work as well. Having the Orchid behind him, Critical Silence, can't work on the Lina anymore, but he can shut down the Disruptor control.
Yeah, Disruptor would be good. Treant Protector, even Sanking, fantastic. Very, very good against Juggernaut as well. Once Manta is used especially. But I think what they need to do to make the fight easy on EG's side is they have to blow up Lina before she gets BKB off, or at least do a lot of damage. Maybe Arteezy initiates same time she gets stunned by Spirit Breaker, say, would be ideal. But that's going to be very difficult. That Spirit Breaker actually gap closes all the way through. So I think the next fight's going to be very, very tough for EG, not just because of the Aegis. That'll make it even harder.
Is there a way they can actually kill off Lina without committing too much? Like we saw Arteezy do it in the earlier fights. He was able to get around the back and find the Lina, who was kind of late to the fights.
They can walk to his booth, they can press his hotkey for suicide, and left click on the ground. That's the best way.
Genius!
Anything other than that is going to take SB getting into stun range, basically, which charging in, she's going to see that coming, she's going to BKB. So maybe we're talking Nether Strike or charge in from a position where you're nearby trees. and can get the disable off. I mean, they do get another tower at least, so this jungle is kind of theirs at the moment, especially having Slark with a gem. He's going to be able to find every ward, and he's going to be able to kill them as well. But they trade towers.
I'm just imagining how hard that charge is, and if Tavo even decides to use the Yule Scepter defensively, how does SB get to the front lines? Or to the back lines when Tavo is starting there? It's a nightmare.
It's really tough. Maybe the best thing he could have is a Shadow Blade, but he's going pretty standard support Spirit Breaker build. Treads, Orb of Venom, Carry a Dust, always earn and Medallion. I think this is the right build, but...
Yeah, he has to switch it up too. Originally he was looking at having the Blade Mail, but understand this game has changed.
Yeah, Blade Mail's really good against heroes like Lina, SK. The damage comes out, might as well throw it back, right?
Yeah. But he just can't get there. SG's grouping up once more. There's no Dire Observer Wards anywhere near their position. So a 5-man smoke. They draw the box. In fact, it's EG who draw the box, saying they could be anywhere in that area, which is basically straight through the Dire jungle.
They don't have a whole lot of time on Aegis, right?
How much have we got left? It's... Oh, yeah, that's not a lot of time. They got 50 seconds. 50 seconds left on the Aegis, so this is the last real fight they're going to have with it. Tavo, wait for the smoke to break. He still needs vision. The Radiant Observer Wards, they don't really reach anywhere near where EG is retreating to.
I mean, this is why they're running away. They know that Aegis is almost gone.
But you got the blink on Juggernaut, and there it is. He just blinks straight in. Goes to Future Blade. They focus on the Spirit Break, but they need the detection. Now the back 3-man wall. Quick Yule Scepter up will save the Sand King, but the Sonic Wave, it hits hard. Is it enough when you get to disrupt the 3-man storm with the wall concluded? It allows Lina to start peppering away the Fire Strike. Shrine is giving EG life. They'll survive. You will lose the Slark, however. But how much damage have they got? 40R onto that double kill. He's only lost his support. Samael's trying to bring down the Lina. Able to do so, but no. It was actually a denial. So they didn't even get the real kill for it in the epicenter. Tavo, the icing on top of this beautiful cake. Zai, stay in the trees where it's safe. TP home. Your universe is dead. Samael is hovering around, but there's nothing he can do here. Even with the Darkseer illusions, they can't see, which means they can't kill.
Now, critical error there by Arteezy. While he was under the Shrine with the BKB active, he did not press his Shadow Dance there. It was ready, he didn't use it. And I feel like that could have kept him alive for sure. I mean, there's some AoE damage flying out, but he needed to heal back up and get some gold. Did you see that?
What did he just deny?
He didn't. He dropped his Skull Basher and went to deny his item, but canceled the animation. That is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen, considering his attack speed. That lowers your attack animation, meaning there was a real chance that he kills his own 2,800 gold item. I've never seen something so amazing before.
This is the way you want to try and do it. We can watch this replay, but I want to see the second one later on.
We'll catch it up, sure. A lot of heroes in the air to stop the Quap damage. Arteezy does kill Jug. That's not the hero he wants, though. He wanted to kill the Lina. Takes some focus fire here. Doesn't use his ultimate very crucially. And the Omni Slash with the Bash, actually, I think that's what did it. Arteezy was trying to greed it out, but when the Bash hits, it was just enough stun duration that he couldn't use his ultimate anymore. He just played it way too thin here.
Man, EG, they're falling off the rails a little bit here. They are still in control as far as the golden experience, but bit by bit, it's all coming back again. You can see Arteezy, that one moment. Yep, thanks Ice Frog.
I'm sure he's considering buying back as well. He had the gold. They were fighting near a shrine. He still had a Shadow Dance. Maybe he goes back in there, but definitely would have been very tough without having Crystal Maiden or Spirit Breaker to guarantee lockdown. Beating Jug otherwise is a tough factor. And if he does buy back and that fails, I feel like the game just ends right there. So probably the safer thing to do what he did, especially because his team looked like they were going to win that fight. It was very, very close. Sumail's scaling amazing, by the way. 4-1-9 right now. And he's got a Bloodthorn and now a Maelstrom. Interesting on the Maelstrom.
Is it for the D push? Here we go. Yeah, we get to see this again.
All right, check this out. Dropped it.
He drops it, turns, and did he attack? It looked like he did it twice as well.
Yeah, he did. He's that crazy. That's something you practice, I guess, for the big stage.
For the manners.
Look, I might
bring back the biff.
If he denied that, I would have laughed for probably the rest of the cast. Just no more commentary, just laughing.
Like on a scale of maybe 1 to Swindles, that would have been so much worse.
That would have been the new Swindle scale for sure.
Yeah, it would have been.
Because that's intentional, man. Swindles did not do that on purpose. That was just unfortunate. So Arteezy still trying to finish the Monkey King bar. This is exactly what he needs to actually deal with the Juggernaut, who's been insanely ahead, just playing a perfect game.
Is it worth sacrificing your buyback to complete this? Does he need it to win the fight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how else are they going to kill Jug this game?
I do not know.
He's got 2.2k HP just about, and they've got a Quap. Quap's very effective against him, but...
And the Abyssal Blade is done in 100 bit gold, so he'll have even more at that point.
Yeah, that's actually really scary too. Can he combo with Sand King? Very likely, especially with Blink. Whoever they find, Blink stun, Blink Abyssal follow up, plus they'll be able to Manto split. I mean, they will have Bloodthorn as a solution against him, but if he jumps on anybody that's disabled with Manta style, I can't see Jug not getting a kill there.
And this is like sharks in the water with SG, grouping up together, hunt as a pack, and just wait until you see the blue trickling around the ocean. You know EG is going to be somewhere close, and well, EG are all 5-man grouped up together. They're not going to smoke. The Reigning Observer Wards at this time nowhere near EG. They've only got the one sitting up on the top lane, so they've lost the one they had a little bit further to the southeast. And EG with a 5-man smoke. Does SG know this is coming? They're still all grouped up. Roshan's on a minute and a half away.
This is dangerous. They only have one dust. That's it for detection.
Yeah,
just what Spearbreaker has.
They're not real illusions. They're not real heroes. It's just illusions in the mid. Arteezy is trying to be that frontline ward, but now he doesn't have his Silver Edge available.
He doesn't have the gem either. It makes things pretty dangerous, because if they run into like a Sentry Observer Ward combo, there's almost no way EG wins that fight then.
This is 4DR's Lincoln Sphere coming on the Courier. He'll have this for the upcoming fight. Maybe now he could have more than 4 Bloodstone charges.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot harder to kill him.
Just doesn't have the mana either. Like, he can't even trigger an ultimate. 4DR needs mana.
Fishing for Arteezy.
Oh, no bites on the hook just yet. EG, they're still waiting for Roshan with almost max spawn time. They just have to leave the Quap illusion and they're looking at it. And
well,
this is just playing a game of Ring-a-Ring-a Rosie until you do find something.
Yeah, basically. But EG doesn't have as many opportunities because they will be getting out-farmed here. Slark's a very good farmer, but compared to Jug, it just doesn't match up, especially when he's this far ahead. Game just gets scarier and scarier as it continues. I mean, EG's got pretty good ward vision. They are going to spot out Disruptor, but maybe they realize what's about to happen. Can they kill Jug?
Here's the charge forward. That's a good Orchid catching out the Juggernaut with the Sonic Wave. He's going to pop to the Orchid, and here comes Arteezy into Disruptor. 2 down. No buyback on the Juggernaut either because he bought the full Abyssal Blade. Evil Geniuses will be able to go for Roshan, and they know he's up in a maximum of 30 seconds.
What an amazing play there. They guaranteed that he couldn't use Manta style just by landing the Spiritbreaker ulti first, followed up by the Charge of Darkness. And the range of this is 700, which is around night vision range, so it's very likely that the Jug might have seen this coming, but if Zai was hiding in the trees or something like that, maybe not. And that was the crucial opener. As soon as he gets the first stun off, it's a 1.6 second bash, which guarantees that he's going to get the charge off afterwards. So that was an absolute game changer. Not to mention, Sumo gets 700 gold for that kill. That's a monster kill streak. And they pick up Cat as well by Universe. The game just changed.
Yep.
And it looked so dangerous. That was knife's edge dangerous for EG there. If they get another bad engagement, if SG finds a hero and kills them, they could have just closed Roche out, possibly taken high ground.
Arteezy going to play greedy now. He's got the second life. Samael is the one they will trust to survive with the BKB. 22 seconds until Juggernaut is up, thanks to Treant as well as SK. The bottom lane is pressured in quite nicely, and it may be enough just for EG to think about coming home. The bottom tier 3 tower went down to 2/3 of its life. This isn't really a risk they want to take just yet. They're still trying to get control of this game back.
They certainly can. They'll push out the lanes once more.
Epicenter, Tavo, solo kill over on Crit. The charge coming forward. Crit won't be able to survive. Tavo hidden inside the Sandstorm. He's going to BKB. He has his TP available, but he's worried about the bash that can come in from Zai. So get the space. The invis of the Sandstorm, then the blink down, and the TP back out again. Tavo will survive, but a 10-second BKB burn to get that. Meanwhile, up on top lane, Samel looking for his kill. They actually do manage to get the Juggernaut down. But Arteezy, so low. That Juggernaut illusion on the run.
And the Lina right clicks are actually doing a lot of damage there. That's quite costly for EG. 2 BKBs on their important heroes. They did get the Jug, though. That makes it super worth it. And all in exchange for a Crystal Maiden. They've got to be pretty happy with their position at the moment.
Yeah. I was actually wondering what we'd see from the Treant Protector. Like, up against the Slark, does Aghanim's make that much sense? He goes to Blink Dagger to ensure his ultimate. and now he's actually building into a Lotus Orb.
Yeah, it's a great item by all means, but Slark can figure out where your opponents can see you, and once you have a gem advantage, it's not the best item. Good players are just going to get 2-3 Quelling Blades, probably 2, and they'll just kill a lot of trees.
Universe, he's jumping forward, he goes for the vac, but already Tavo started to back out. Trying to beat some level of initiation. Thanks to their Observer Ward up on the hill, he could play that position absolutely perfectly. But as you don't want to really fight this, the bottom lane as well as the mid lane is pushing in nicely for EG. And it's EG with the momentum while the Juggernaut is dead again.
And those 2 deaths in a row just really changed the game. I'm even surprised that he got killed this time.
They check the trees. Oh, that Observer Ward. It just sees Tavo holding in the trees. You'll set her up. The BKB is available. There's your glimpse from Slark back into the lane and give Tavo the space to fight. Juggernaut's up in 3 seconds time. The epicenter was actually coming off cooldown just before that fight was going to begin.
It's a very smart ward there. It could spot things like Disruptor. Sand King is definitely going to stand there sometimes, and obviously Treant. I mean, even Jug can. A lot of heroes that have a lot of potential damage that will be standing with a Blink Dagger in position for that. So maybe they'll get a kill on the Jug here. Yeah, Zai's going to give up on that. A little too hard to gap close when he goes mid. So, EG's looking solid now, that's for sure.
Yeah. They just have to stabilize and really show us a proper convincing fight, as if they even wanted to really take a 5-on-5 fight.
I think they're just going to keep trying to get little pickoffs. I think that's the safest thing to do by far. Arteezy's Basher is done, so once he gets Abyssal as well, that's another way to open up fights. And he hasn't really done as much poking as most Slarks do with Shadowblade, but the game was just so dangerous for him. There's so many disables. If he gets stunned once and he hasn't used Dark Pact or his ultimate, then they should have easy follow-up. But now it's to the point where his HP's high. He should be able to see that stuff coming.
As long as he can react when the Bloodthorn is triggered. That's my concern for him.
Do they have the Bloodthorn yet?
Almost. Like I say almost when they're actually 2,800 away on the Lina.
From a Daedalus.
From a Daedalus.
Yeah. He built this last night. Pretty similar build. And
he switched. It was originally Bloodthorn.
Okay, yeah, but he did do the Daedalus build last night.
Okay.
It should work okay because Slark doesn't have a butterfly. If there were butterflies, I am not confident in the item. But considering his range perk and his plus damage,
they found him. Lina, he tried to slave out. The Lincoln Sphere will protect. There was the stun trying to arrive from crit. That's why Sumal triggered the Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, just not close enough. And Zai was too far as well. Almost no way to stop him, actually. Surprisingly, we haven't seen that punish EG that much so far. I haven't seen too many TP aways, but EG's still trying to take that crucial team fight or the crucial pickoff to allow them to take a team fight or push high ground. They want to take these tier 3s, they want to kill the shrines, and whichever team does that first is going to have a big advantage. But EG definitely has better map control. Despite the Treant, I think they're in a better spot.
But we really want to wait for next Roshan while with this game of cat and mouse around the lanes keep going.
Cat and crit, you mean? Game of cat and crit.
You make it sound like Chris the entire EG lineup.
Yeah, it's the drafters, right? And they both sound similar.
Yeah, that's what they say in the introduction. If Crit's able to outdraft them.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh. But both these teams have exactly the draft they probably wanted. Like, even going into this late game, I'm still not certain who is going to scale the best. Like, you got a very farmed up Juggernaut, Alina doing a lot of damage, up against a Queen of Pain who is now transitioning herself into an Assault Cuirass, looking for more physical damage to work with the Slark.
Yeah, that'll be for the Veil swap out. I think this is looking better for EG late game now, because Quap is out farming the Jug, which is truly incredible, typical Sumail things, but the Jug's pretty much 6-slotted at this point. He's not going to get much more farmed. He's not going to want to swap these items out. He needs Manta. Butterfly's good. Maybe that's what his swap would be. Could be like an AC or a Scotty at some point, but there's a lot of space left for Lina. There's a lot of space left for Slark, but I think Slark is going to be the more terrifying of those two in the ultra late game. Just because he can clean up support so reliably with melee range bashes, things like those are some of the advantage that you get as a melee core versus range. So I think this just looks better for EG as the game continues. Not to mention they do have better team fight in my opinion. I feel like Vacuum changes too much basically.
Yeah.
Tree ult, Sand King ulti, very good. Disruptor ulti, all very good things, but I think I have more faith in EG's late game. And I feel like their gank is more superior too. All of their heroes can contribute to a gank on a single hero, whereas on SG it's a little bit more difficult to execute.
Unless EG's coming inside their base, then I would say it's Treant's playland just because he has that Blink Dagger.
Yeah,
they can really get him in the choke point. But for now, both teams understand the position they're in. One team fight, and this momentum is going to shift very heavily in one direction. As you said, that tier 3 tower can fall. The Shrines will be directly after it. So whatever fight you do take, you want to ensure you have vision. Difficult for SG up against the Slark, and at the same time, it's also difficult for Evil Geniuses. GRD's been very on the point for walking around finding these obstacles. If you actually check the map out right now from both sides, like there's fresh walls down from SG because they just planted them, but they're not going to last for very long. EG is pretty much in the dark. They get more vision because of the high CS Sumail. He's getting it all from doing his split push. BT's out the lane, pushes like 2-3 worth of the waves, then goes to the other side lane, keeps that push going as well. Hence he's up at level 25. He went for the 70% up in the lifesteal, and he's rapidly approaching. In fact, has enough money, but won't have enough surplus for buyback if he wants to buy up the Assault Cuirass.
You know, I think this is why he got the Mjolnir in the first place, because it's going to spell lifesteal, I assume. Maybe? I don't know. We'll find out. If it does, that'd be a really cool way to do it, because if it's bouncing around hitting a lot of heroes, he's going to get a ton of lifesteal from it.
But for now, we could test that.
I'm going to focus on nothing else other than this. I will confirm this in a moment.
I'll try and watch the rest of the team fight. SG's pushing it through the bottom lane. Here comes your TP. Sumail's coming back. Universe. Shiva's Guard is done, combining up with the pipes. They can defend this quite easily. But right now, it feels like all SG were trying to do is get EG to go home for a little bit. They've been on the road for too long, and their families miss them.
I think it does work. I'm seeing lifesteal animation on Quap herself, so that's real good. Bounces up to 12 times.
I'm assuming it doesn't work with the shield. It only works when he actually procs the Mjolnir.
No, it should. It's magic damage done, right? Technically, if you're getting spell lifesteal,
okay,
it should work on no matter what the wave is.
Put the shield on this creep wave and then just walk away from the wave.
I mean, that's not that amazing because you're lifestealing only 5. No, that's not true actually. You get 70% because it's not an Octarine core. This ain't an Octarine core. This is a 70% on anything.
He got lifesteal. He got lifesteal from the shield.
Yeah,
it works.
That's a little strong. The one OP thing that maybe people didn't discover as much could really pay off. And with an AC on top of that to just increase his survivability really high, could keep him alive in some of these fights.
Well, a minute and 30 or a minute and 20 until Roshan is up, and then this fight will become a reality. Question is, who has the balls to go inside the pit? Right now, the vision, little play from Crit, the wall out from Cat. They're both trying to find the opportunity.
SG has a pretty safe position, though. I do actually like this ancient area.
They're smoking and wrapping around.
If they can get by the shrine, this will make a big advantage.
They're going to go all the way around. They're going back down through the lane.
That's way safer, actually, because if the enemy team is sitting at the secret shop but not at the ancient spot, they'll just get wiped right there.
Where do they scan? They have to understand that something is going wrong, and, well, Cat feels something. The Observer Ward is down. The sentry's there from SG.
That's so sick. They instantly counter each other, essentially. Both trying to control the same area.
Here comes Slark. He's in very, very close, but underneath the sentry wall, pounces forward, looking for the kill over on Cat. Is he able to get it? Cat stays alive, gets a storm off as well as the wall. Tavo trying to get the epicenter. He's actually got it up his sleeve as the Burrow Strike. Cat's done too. Straight Omni Slash with the bash as well. It may be enough control of the universe inside. No, they have to run away at the epicenter. Tavo comes in, but the damage is minimal. Back into a big two-man wall, and it may be enough. No, Lacuna Blade. They are able to get something, but SG losing 3 for 1. This will include Roshan. This is exactly what SG did not want to have happen. Exactly what AG wanted.
Such a chaotic fight, actually. Roshan respawns, and instantly Sumail knows what's more important. And the crucial thing was initiating on the Darkseer, or the Disruptor, forcing out a bad ultimate. He did get the Ghost Scepter off. It did buy him some time, but on EG's side, the only person that ended up being vulnerable was the Crystal Maiden. And even he got his ultimate off for a good duration.
Here they come. Buybacks will have to be forced out here from SG. Evil Geniuses, they got the Aegis Immortal over on the Slark. The Chi is currently in the hands of Universe. Pipe comes back off cooldown as well for them. Epicenter was blown by Tavo, so he doesn't even have this to disable him. So he's got the Blink Burrow Strike, goes back, RTZ dropping down low, but the back from Universe. No combination with the wall, but it may not matter when Lina just evaporates in the middle of the fight. They have control. It's over on maybe one. Can they bring down Universe? Yes, they can't get the cheese off on him. Sumail also having to blink himself away. The Glimmer Cape gave him a little bit of extra cover. Tavo, it looks like he wants to keep going for more. Zai starts his run. Sumail turns for the fight. Tavo having to trigger his own BKB just to escape from the Bloodthorn effects. And they both get out to safety.
And they do defend their racks is the important thing, but...
And the tier 3 tower, so shrines don't open up either.
I don't even think that was terribly bad there for SG. In fact, looking at Lina, and I was checking her gold before that fight started. She definitely got profit ultimately from that, despite the death. She's got surplus gold, enough for her Daedalus now. So she seems so weak, though. When Arteezy actually hit her with the Silver Edge and started slapping away, it was like a 4-hit. That was Bloodthorn significantly. Like, that was a big aspect of it. And she was like 5 seconds away, I believe, from her BKB from the prior time she died in the team fight. So if she had that up, maybe that goes a lot better. But I think that was only a Treant buyback, was it not?
It was a Treant buyback and a Juggernaut buyback.
Okay, the Jug one is significant. But he's maxed out anyways, so, and he's got Moonshard. He's actually, this doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter.
He actually wants to buy an Orchid of his own. Like, he's got the Bloodthorn in his queue.
I think that's going to be a Butterfly replacement, maybe. Kind of hard to say.
Well, EG have come back to the mid lane. Remember, they still have the Aegis the Immortal. Universe will spawn up in a second. Now, he doesn't have BTs available, so you'll have to just run out the old-fashioned way. He can BT out to TP out to the shrine. He's actually headed up towards the top lane. That's where Sumail is starting his TP up. So 35 seconds before EG will add more pressure into the SG base.
Sumail pushes so fast with this Mjolnir, actually. Really efficient. He is very farmed. Slark ready for his next item as well, thinking about a Butterfly. The Jug keeps changing his mind here, thinking about a Scotty now, which will definitely help for HP, but pretty soon, if he's not careful, Arteezy's Butterfly could come out the same time that Jug spends his money again, and then he's actually kind of screwed. He's going to have a lot of trouble killing the Slark at that point, because they don't have the same value coming from a Bloodthorn. Counters evasion items when it's used, so...
I'm wondering if... wait, here comes the Hyperstone. The Moonshot, sorry. Is this going to Arteezy?
No.
Sumail to consume it, because I'm wondering if Sumail is even worthwhile buying it up for Arteezy at this point.
Would you give your 9-2 and 12 Slark a Moonshard when you, the 6-1 and 13 Juggernaut, farmed it? No.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Quap is not a giving woman.
He right-clicks well, too.
Well, here comes your run, the Lincoln Sphere protecting Arteezy. Line Striker Ray can still connect over on him and Tavo. Sandstorm's in, trying to force out some level of reaction. Universe the back actually hits on absolutely nothing, but the bash is there from Slark, holding Tavo in position. The overgrowth, it comes too late. The wall is nice, however. Hatching Universe, so we still can't get any of his big items off. Tavo back in, Epicenter is preparing. They burrow a strike over, catching two. Arteezy is locked. The Juggernaut's doing the work. Aegis Immortal, it's triggered. What do you want to do, Sumail? You got Bloodthorn available. He actually triggers it, but broke the Lincoln Sphere over on the Lina. Now it's the stun. It's the bashes. Arteezy is held. Arteezy is down. They'll find more as well. Crit will be the proper icing. The Crystal Maiden sprinkles it all over SG.
And EG, just bad skill usage in that fight was really the big issue. The Quap ultimate hit nothing. The vacuum as well, I believe, came out at a similar moment.
It got nothing.
The best move that I did see coming from from EG was right before the Omni Slash came out. He did break the Juggernaut, which made the Omni do way less damage. But if you can't land a good ultimate, pick off the heroes you need to, it's not going to work.
Yeah, because then you could just have the Lina and the Juggernaut. They can just keep fighting. Yeah. Universe getting caught inside the wall. Let's actually have a quick look at it again. So they managed to break the Lincoln Sphere off. Tavo.
He was way overconfident by that. The Bloodthorn came out. It did look really vulnerable for the Sand King, but he totally forgot about the Yules. And as a result, his ulti missed. He thought he had the easy guarantee here. Oh, he actually Lotus Orbed it too. I didn't even see that. Nice job by Crit there to reflect that, but ultimately it doesn't matter.
We come back to live times now as SG, the Tier 3 tower is almost gone. Darkseer is spawning up in a second, but all they want is the Tier 3. Now SG can move back out as 5 and look to take out the last out of position that EG can TP to. The Shrines must go. It's like a rug sale.
This game is so back and forth. Any team can win this. It just depends on who wins the next couple team fights. But on the bright side for EG, they've got 3 heroes with no buybacks. The Jug as well as the Tree for 2 minutes and the Sand King for 5. So any kills on those heroes would guarantee a hero advantage temporarily at least. And losing their Shrines at this point is not the worst. They're pretty heavy on BOTs, I believe. No, it's just the Quap right now, actually.
She's been doing all the split push work. The other 2 BTs belong to the Juggernaut and the Lina.
And even the Crystal Maiden's not very mobile. Never was able to grab a mobility item. Just Lotus Orb as well as the Glimmer Cape.
It's crazy to think when Crit was able to pick up such an early hand of Midas from the with the Crystal Maiden. The advantage is Crit is going to hit level 25.
That's
so
true.
If he can get into a good position, get that Frostbite buff up, I suppose he doesn't have the Aghanim Scepter. He's going for a BKB of his own, so okay, maybe nowhere near as effective.
I've been thinking about the Crystal Nova damage. I haven't played a CM where I get to 25, but it's pretty significant. 550 AoE damage on a 9-second cooldown. That's not bad.
especially if you're not going to get nags.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely more likely goes BKB into a mobility item, I think. As
All
great
right.
as that exists.
SG, they are grouped up, 5 men together. There's no dire Observer Wards. Again, looking for anything on the map. The only Observer Ward they've got is watching the bottom rune. So a very defensive ward. This will at least let EG know when SG move over to take out that last outer shrine.
I will tell him something. That's definitely a good place to take a fight. Finally putting buyback potential on EG's side. And as of yet, I don't think we've seen a single buyback from EG members yet this game. And even then, I don't even know if they'll need it super often, considering the fact that both the CM as well as the Spear Breaker. Well, the CM hasn't. Okay, has done it now. Both go for respawn talents. 40 seconds on the SB and 35 on the CM. That can really add up, saving you buybacks, making you feel like if you do buyback, your dieback is way less. That's like a dieback is what, 70 seconds, 80 seconds less. That's massive. That can really add up.
They found the ward. So goodbye, Vision. This is
Well,
actually going to be one of the most wardless games ever. Like, there isn't actually a single Observer Ward from either team outside of their own base. The only vision you've got right now is from the creep wave and the heroes.
And this is one of those times where having completely up-to-date, ahead of the meta knowledge of a cool warding spot can make the difference. Because if your opponents don't actually know where it is, it changes things a lot. He's really... Somebody over here does a lot of damage, okay? I'm pretty sure it's both of them, but... That died instantly. The Daedalus.
The TPs are coming back. That creep wave on bottom cannot be ignored. The bottom tier 3 tower is just a little bit too low, so the TPs have to come back. SG do exactly the same.
Wow.
So both these teams. This is actually like one of the hardest positions, and maybe will actually become one of the longest games because both teams don't know where the other is moving until they show as a huge force in the lane, and then you TP back to your base to defend it. Without any kind of vision, do you just go for like, we just bank up 2 smokes, roam through everywhere, and hope we just have the better positioning for a fight? Do you hope in single elimination?
You got to use the smokes when you kind of know where they might be. That's absolutely the big part. Dire does do a scan here. They're using it in conjunction.
Oh, EG.
Tree's
the
gonna
tree
spot the Slark,
actually scouts out Sumail as well as Slark. He managed to break the smoke. The Burrow Strike is on Arteezy. The Bash as well, but this is going to be GRD going down. There's nothing they can really save him. They attempted to with the Light Strike Array, but now 4DR under the cover of his own BKB needs to run away. Can't. Be careful. He just got scouted out for a brief moment. He needs to get into a safe space, but he can't TP. It's on cooldown for 25 seconds. He's on the wrong side of the river with no way to get home.
That was actually such a crucial kill. He was one of the heroes that didn't have buyback, but it wasn't because of the time limit. It's actually because he doesn't have the gold. Maybe a greedy thing for him to buy whatever the heck he bought recently, and surprisingly, he just didn't have it.
They have to mop up the creep wave. Cad's actually trying to intercept the creep wave while EG's pushing in. So the catapults remain alive. Arteezy's copping a fair chunk of damage. Cad's still just creep skipping this. The TP's coming in. He'll TP back out. He actually kills the creep that the BT was coming to. So Sumail can't get back to the creep wave. But EG, Roshan is up. Tree and Protector is still down. He doesn't have buyback available. And with the Bloodthorn, this will be EG claiming what is, I think, now the 5th Roshan of the game.
Yeah, that was really good play from the Disruptor, but unfortunately, because Roche was up at the same time, they lose very little in that moment. And they can still go high ground. There's still 40 seconds left on the tree, and if you would have opted for the 50 respawn talent perk, for example, this guy would be up. But maybe Living Armor would have done more. Definitely it leaves him vulnerable at the moment. It's all about buybacks and high ground, and everyone on EG's got it. They've got the Aegis. I think they're just going to do the typical thing, move around, grab the ward. Zai does miss the sentry and the Observer on the high ground, but may find it eventually. And Sumail keeps on farming. Let's see who's got moon shards. Anybody? Surely somebody's got a moon shard. Crystal Maiden? Did he hook you up?
He did not hook up Crystal Maiden.
Slark does have one, though, and he still is ready to build up a little farther in terms of items. It's one of the other benefits of hard carries. They usually have more expensive items. Abyssal Blades, things like that.
Where is that gem? It's over on Tree, and he needs to move up. Except GRD is sitting inside of his own base, which allows initiation now up on top lane. That's SK down for 2 minutes. And, well, it looks like Disruptor will join him. Only 20 seconds on the sideline, thanks to the negative 30 seconds respawn time.
But that's 110 for the Sand King. He's dead for a long time, and he did skip his respawn talent. Opting for Sandstorm DPS was useful in some of the kills earlier, but now it's not
Blade,
good.
Arteezy, the Hex is perfect on top of the Juggernaut. Living Armor will keep him alive, not to mention the space created by the Overgrowth. But GRD has to give his life for it. Zai will fall too. The damage from the Lina so high with that fresh Skadi up. He can tank through a long time with the back wall. It will do enough. Juggernaut's down 2 buybacks. It's now or never, SG. They have to be able to defend. Arteezy is low. Aegis Immortal will trigger. They need this kill. They need to make sure he doesn't get home free. Where's your jump in? It's Samael trying to create distraction. But it's Juggernaut. He's got Omni Slash available. Samael is going to go down. He's down for 98 seconds. Crit as well. The damage from Lina again way too much. It is 40R with the double kill. The streak's being ended. For just those 2 kills, he claimed over 1,600 gold.
Have you ever seen Snowballs do this much damage before? I don't even think this is the weirdest build I've ever seen, but it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you add up his total range right now, this guy's hitting from 800 units away, and he's critting, and he's got insane attack speed and movement speed just from Fiery Soul alone. So instead, he just gets to focus almost entirely on smart utility items like Skadi. So if he just stays at full range and he doesn't get dived on, and he's not getting hit directly, he controls EG so well.
And there's just no way Universe, Arteezy, they can just run around with this one. Let's have a quick look at it again. So as SG the star of this fight, and Juggernaut barely surviving. Again, the Treant has to fall on his own branch to keep him alive.
And 40R got cleaned up. This is with Healing Ward, by the way, keeping them full. And even the Disruptor ulti felt pretty useless in some ways. But in the meantime, Lina comes back up here. The Glimpse making a big difference, and he didn't have Shadowblade to get out. But the most crucial moment is this moment here where he's not able to get Dark Pact off in time. That stun was insane to time it like that. And as a result, they can't just disengage. Sumail felt like he had to go, and he ends up dying, and then they get the crit kill follow-up. All because that stun lands perfectly. Insane play by him.
Sumail, the sacrificial lamb. But now Arteezy, he's got a fresh item as well. Puts his boots into his backpack. A refresher orb is now over on that Slark. So it's going to be double the BKBs, double the Silver Age, double the Abyssal Blades.
Double the Monkey King Bar?
I was going to say double the Flutter. That would have been the better one to go for.
If you don't have your boots, you might need it. A Butterfly definitely helps a lot against the Lina, but always got to worry about these right clicks. He's going for a Moonshard still. At some point, she's definitely going to be a little ineffective. Her control is weak, but I guess Light Strike already helps. And he did go for the cast range perk, much like he did yesterday. It's one of the nice things about the hero, actually. If you don't want to rely on a Yules to get a setup, she can better cast it from range. But she's still going to have disable problems. And with Sumail going for the Scythe of Vice, I think he sold his Lincolns for this. Worked out great in the last fight. Easy Sand King kill. There wasn't a Lotus Orb in time. But EG definitely has a better control right now. That is absolutely the case of the game right now.
You asked probably about 25 minutes ago, how far away is that Bloodthorn? HFN just completed it.
Okay.
So he is now 6 slotted. He also consumed up the Moonshard. His buyback's on cooldown for another 4 minutes. That's why he's burnt all of his money to buy this item.
And he did ditch the Diffusal Blade for this, which is pretty good.
Arteezy can look at him. You can see HFN, no risk. Spin back up. Keep the creep wave off the tower. Let the Living Armor actually bring the tier 3 tower back up. I'm not certain if it makes that much difference, but EG don't really have the greatest tower melters in their lineup.
Forgot to mention he also dropped his Blink Dagger, so AC and Bloodthorn to swap for the Diffusal Blade and the Blink. Absolutely does increase his net worth a lot.
They 5-man smoked, but they were in range of the vision of Arteezy, okay. I believe. And you can see Arteezy just playing, well, actually he's just going to farm up. But SG's going a long way out. The ping is perfect. They're looking in the trees. They're looking for someone who's just like a Sumail BT over to force the lane in. It's what you would expect. He's got it off cooldown in 1 second time.
I mean, it's good for them to look for kills, but they're not going to get anybody that doesn't have buyback. So this feels a little bit
Crit's
like
coming
a stretch.
He's the one they can get. See him for a second. Blink Burrow Strike. Well, goodbye, Crystal Maiden. Help is coming in, or maybe not. The fact, 2-man wall. You're losing up one. Disruptor doesn't get the ulti up. The Ghost to protect him as well as GRD. But the damage output EG! They have actually done the perfect fight they needed. 3 heroes down with no buyback, but can they bring down the big man? The god battle. It is 4DR. You've got Arteezy. The bash is there from the Abyssal. Thanks to Refresh Orb. He's gone. Samel will BT in towards the middle, and they don't have their 2 big cores up. SG caught with no buybacks and pants down.
That just feels like one of those late game decisions where SG feels farther behind than they are. I know they're getting a lot farmed, but why did they have to smoke across the map? They were the heroes that if they died, they lose in some ways. Like if they get wiped, it's over, and that's the case. There's 3 dead heroes for sure for 60 seconds. I don't think the Sand Disruptor can stop this. They're going to try to play it out, and they had a big advantage this game, but you don't go looking for a fight like that when you're behind.
You really don't, but this is the nerves that a major stage can bring you. SG, they work so hard. We burned 66 minutes in this game. One of the best of 3, but Evil Geniuses held their nerve. They found the fight as SG really did try and force it.
They did, and EG made this very, very close. It could have gone both ways, but the experience really showing through there. EG making less critical mistakes, very small stuff, but if your teamwork ends up putting you in that kind of position, it does put you into this coin flip scenario, and experience is almost always going to win those games, and for what, 66-minute game? Yeah, it shows.
And there's going to be a big test of character now from SG. As a long game, you know maybe that one maneuver is what cost it for you. And now you've got to pull yourself back up. You've got to sit down those chairs for game 2 and understand that you have to bring down Evil Geniuses to force yet another game going late into the night in Kiev.
I certainly think they can do it, though. I mean, that game kept it very competitive. It made me think, is SG really going to do the ad finum run all the way to the grand finals? They look like they could do it. They're definitely very skilled. They have new ideas. Their execution has been really good. They just got to do a little bit better late game, maybe win a little harder in the mid game.
Man, I'd like to see if they can do it. Is it going to be possible? Do we get a game 3? Will Evil Geniuses be the ones to face up against OG? Can't wait to find out.
Can't wait to find out indeed. It is 1-0 EG, as expected perhaps, but not the way that they achieved it. It is a very long game, and SG eSports put up a fantastic fight in game 1. We're back with our panel members right now. We'll start with Fog. Very up and down kind of game as well. Back and forth, could have gone either way at many times throughout the game.
Was some fight from SG eSports. It really looked like a team giving it their all and really pushing EG. That was such a tough win for EG to pull out. At a lot of points of this game, it felt like EG were behind and took some great late game decision making for EG to pull it back.
And Samel. Samel definitely kept them in this game. This whole, like, I thought EG were making a lot of mistakes on their own, but Samel kept up in the net worth, bought the perfect items, always itemizing to whatever the enemy is building. I thought he was phenomenal.
Yep, great game from Samel. And Conrad, what did you make of EG's performance?
I mean, EG played fantastically this game. Getting that really early pressure with the Crystal Maiden and the Spirit Breaker, as well as Arteezy just getting that farm really, really early on. We didn't see that the Tavo King RD lane with the Sand King and the Triad Protector really tried to, prevent Arteezy from getting that farm, and Arteezy did a really good job of making sure that he was going to be able to get, do well into this late game.
And likewise, SG doing superbly well to keep up, and at times pushing EG hard as well, looking like they might have a chance to win the game.
I think a lot of people might feel surprised. I would like to say otherwise. Like, I played against these SG guys, and they've taken many, many games off when I played against them. So I understand their capabilities, and at this LAN, they're beginning to show how much stronger they really are than even then. Like, throughout this tournament, they've grown. They understood from every single game that they've played how to evolve themselves. And this game was so tight, and even till the very end. You got like core heroes with like 40k net worth and stuff. This normally doesn't happen at all, especially against a team like EG.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at Arteezy and I talk about him getting farmed, but HFN did such a good job of keeping up and looking very powerful into this late game. I just think, EG had a better overall plan, a more macro plan, while SG, we saw some team fights there where, they were able to pull it back and, make it look way closer than I think it should have been.
Yeah, 66-minute 46 game. gods, and within that time, I think you were allowed a few mistakes here and there, and there were a few, weren't there?
Oh, it's very easy in long games like that where there's all these heroes going around with 30, 40k net worth, and you've got 6 items, a Bloodthorn, a BKB to use, a Refresher to use on Slark at the end there. You're going to mess up an item here or there. Like there was a fight at the Shrine where Arteezy didn't get his ulti off because he got bashed at the start of the Anomaly Slash. There was a few times where just small little mishaps happened, but all in all, I think you look at every player and they played like 95% of the game near perfectly. And I mean, Tavo Sandking had some amazing epicenters. He was definitely one of the standout like playmakers for me with SG Esports. They were so impressive to watch. In the various team fights, some great overgrowths as well. And it really was a fantastic showing from both teams.
Do you think SG annoyed EG with some of their picks and that maybe EG focused slightly differently on the bans?
I don't know if they annoyed them enough. I mean, I think maybe the taunting this game might have been a little bit annoying, but we saw some really interesting plays there, both from SG and EG. I don't know. I think the 4DR Lina is something to be definitely a force to be reckoned with. And HFN showed that, you know, he's able to carry on multiple different heroes. He's going to be a factor definitely in the bans.
Yeah, definitely ADR on that Lina. It's not the first time we've seen him do that. He was fantastic against Secret yesterday. Just It goes as a slightly different build as well with that Lina.
Right, I think he already knows exactly what he wants his end game items to be, and that really helps in like performing well. You don't have to think about, oh, what am I going to build here, there, and then like you can just focus just on the gameplay itself, and that's how you can play as well as ADR did. He just understands exactly what his 6 slots look like, and it pretty much looks like a very solid build. And as for you said, like, target the bans, I want to see this Sanking gone if I'm EG. Like, this Sanking
did cause some issues, didn't it?
To me, I think that hero caused the most issues. And Tavo is just absolutely amazing on this hero.
You can see very backwards and forwards throughout the game, really, until we sort of hit the 50-minute mark when EG just started to eke ahead. And even then, they couldn't finish it off. It was a great defense of the front of the base around towards the end of the game, admittedly. But it was a great hold. We were already thinking, okay, this is game now. And somehow the SG guys held on again.
It was 62 minutes with not a single Rax loss. Only one Tier 3 tower was down, and that was SG Esports taking EG's Tier 3 tower. It was so neck and neck.
So, MVP. There's a number of people that could take it, but in the end, we've gone with Sumail.
Yes, I mean, Theben talked about Tavo and how annoying and difficult to deal with. Well, there's one player on EG who made this game difficult and, in the end, impossible for SG Esports to win, and it was Sumail. His Queen of Pain was always ahead, was so disruptive, dishing out incredible amounts of damage. I loved his itemization as well this game.
Downside, of course, for SG, Conrad, is that they can't ban Sumail from the next game. They have to ban out the heroes that he plays.
I mean, yeah, this Queen of Pain was definitely an interesting last pick coming out from EG, and it shows that they're very versatile with who they want Sumail to play on that mid. This might be, I don't know if this is ban-worthy even. That's the hard part to justify here. Sumail did a masterclass with this hero.
10th pick, it's always a bit off sometimes because you can pick something that maybe isn't counted in the draft.
Right, and Sumail is just so consistent in this whole tournament. Like, if there was a mid player I would choose to just have on your team, it's Sumail right now. He just, whatever hero you give him, you can just trust him to carry you. That's how I felt in all these games, and they're doing the right thing, you know, picking his hero last, getting the best possible matchup that he can, and he just outdoes himself every game.
Yeah, brilliant again. We'll get more from all three of you in just a moment. We are headed, of course, to our second game and our second draft. We hope you stay with us. I know it's late in the night as well. Very late here, of course, covering the Kiev Major, but we hope you do stay with us. SG are not out of this yet. They showed that yesterday after going a game down against Secret. Can they pull it back again? We will find out in a few minutes' time.